And we're back at it. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Happy Thursday, 19th day of December, 2019. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Life Channel. I am Dan Kuntz. Light little layer of snow over in north central Washington area. That's going to be the big thing today. We still have that winter storm warning. Starts at noon today. We're going to get a little bit of snow today, a little bit of snow tonight. The big thing that we're really worried about is there could be some pockets where it's a mixture of snow, rain, and freezing rain. We can't rule that out. Right now, no real traffic situations, at least around the Wenatchee Valley proper that we've heard of, but the mountain passes are a mess, and they're going to get worse before they get better. We'll have those details coming up. It's Thursday. Kennel Cameos is coming your way. Cabba the dog needs a home. A beautiful, beautiful husky, male husky, about 2 years old. We'll introduce you to Cabba when we get to Kennel Cameos at the bottom half of the hour. Of course, Mike McNulty has an opinion to come your way as well. Arch Ecker will be joining me in the back half of the hour. The Wenatchee Wild have two big games coming up this weekend before the holiday break. Alberni Valley in town on Friday, Powell River on Saturday. The big guy himself, my good friend Arch Ecker, will be joining me in the back half of the hour. And a friendly reminder, only 6 more shopping days until Christmas. 6 more shopping days until Christmas. That reminds me, this is just shop talk for my coworkers. I have received so far this year presents from all of my coworkers, with the exception of the following. And I don't want to single any one person out for not getting me my present yet. I just assume they're just don't know what to give me. I'm talking specifically the coworkers who have not gotten me a present yet. That would be Mr. Fitzsimmons, Ms. Hedersheet, Mr. Granstrom, Mr. Olson, Mr. Hare, Ms. Sullivan, Captain Wagner, Mr. Darby, Ms. Mendalis, also Mr. Robbins, and Ms. McPherson have not gotten me my present yet. Just wanted to remind them of that. 2 minutes after the hour, let's go around the valley with our cameras, courtesy of local hotel Sky-Fi. Oh, by the way, Megan's back. It's good to have Megan back. She's feeling better. And of course, the first thing we look at is, I don't know, is that the lower cross? What are we looking at, Megan? Oh, that's the Cascadian. I should have paid attention, Dan. That's one of the 2 cameras that we have on the roof of the Cascadian Hotel in the heart of downtown Wenatchee, the Cascadian apartment complex. What that is pointed at is anybody's guess. It's a little too dark for me to figure that one out. Maybe when it gets light enough, and the sun's not going to come up for another 40 minutes or so. 7:44 will be a sunrise this morning, sunset at 4:12. By the way, the winter solstice will be on Saturday at 8:19 in the evening, and that means Bonnie Orr will be joining me sometime in the near future. She comes and visits me 4 times a year here in the studio during the solstices and the equinoxes. Camera number 2. Good morning to, I'm going to, Rock Island? Hey! The only reason I know that's Rock Island is that I'm looking at the golf course at the bottom part of your screen, and that makes me so sad. Good morning, Rock Island. It's good to have you. Traffic seems to be flowing on the highway between Rock Island and the Quincy area. Highway 28 looks to be okay right now. Wenatchee way off in the distance. It's overcast right now at 27 degrees. And once again, we're not out of the woods yet with some snow. Camera number, I lost track already. That probably is Billy Goat. Yay! That's probably my favorite camera. Obviously, it's Megan's favorite camera. She loves to go to that one a lot. High above the Alta Lake Resort on Billy Goat Ridge, way up there. That camera is, I'm told, about 4,000, something like that, 4,000, 4,500 feet above sea level. It's one of our highest cameras. On a clear day, of course, if there's no clouds, you can actually see Canada from that camera. That's just a phenomenal view. Heads up, if you're heading into the Medhow Valley, heading up through, on your way to Twisp, through Medhow itself, all the way up to Winthrop and Mazama, you're going to have a lot of snow, folks, if you don't have it already. And where are we off to next, Megan? This is camera 4, I believe. I can't remember if I've lost track or not. And we're off to the Arondo Rock camera. Look at all that light pollution that you see way off in the distance. That's, of course, the Wenatchee Valley. You can see the low-hanging clouds, Lake Antioch, Turtle Rock. That's zoomed out about as far as we can zoom it out. That's still an incredible view there. And the Columbia River looks slightly choppy this morning. Normally, that little section of the Columbia, Lake Antioch area right behind Rocky Reach Dam is smooth as glass, but it looks a little rough today, as rough as it can possibly be. Anyway, those are our tours around north central Washington, courtesy of local hotel Sky-Fi high-speed Wireless. Set up 5 minutes after the hour from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They'll give your home a hug. Oh, look at the tree on Christmas. That's cool. I love it when people get creative. So once again, here's the deal. We have a winter storm warning that starts at noon today, goes to 4 a.m. Friday, but we're not going to get a bunch of snow. They've kind of backed off snow totals from what they were thinking about a couple of days ago. Total snow accumulations for the valley proper down here, about a couple of inches. That's about it. Other locations, and it's all about elevation, upwards of maybe 4, even 5 inches up near, say, Pangbourne or the East Wenatchee Bench. It's a possibility, but the thing we're really worried about is ice accumulations. We really don't want that to happen. So here's what we're looking at. I'm going to take you through basically day by day here. Snow, yeah, going to get a little bit of snow today, and then a rain-snow mix is possible for a couple of hours late in the afternoon, basically 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. It could be a rain-snow mix, even a little bit of light freezing rain, and then it should switch over to just plain snow by about 6 o'clock this evening. The snow level is going to hang right around 1,200 feet, right around 1,200 feet. It will be the snow level. And of course, here on the valley floor, right down near the Columbia River, we're about 750 feet above sea level. Snow level at about 1,200 feet. Anything at that or above is going to be snow. Below that, a rain-snow mix will top off at about 32 degrees. Rain, snow, and freezing rain is all possible in the evening hours until we get to midnight, and then a rain-snow mix, and then just plain rain. The snow level is going to go up to 4,000 feet in the overnight hours tonight. And believe it or not, the temperature is actually going to get warmer overnight. This is the second system that we've talked about. It's going to be coming in. It's going to bring us some rain. In fact, by the time you get up tomorrow morning, it could be near 40 degrees. So we are going to get an inch or two of snow overnight tonight, and then it very rapidly will switch over to rain as a bunch of warm air comes in. Look at tomorrow's high, 42 degrees. So we're worried maybe even about a little bit of flooding. That could be an issue on the passes too. We'll get to that in a little bit. So basically by about 10 o'clock Friday morning, it's going to rain, and it's going to rain most of the day. On Friday, it's also going to be a little breezy at times, and again, a high of 42. So whatever snow we're going to get is going to be long gone by about noon on Friday. Maybe a rain-snow mix Friday. No real chance of that. They say real no accumulation Friday to Friday night. Overnight low of about 35 degrees, and again, rain is in the forecast for Friday night. Saturday morning, a little morning rain, and then it dries out. We'll top off at 39 degrees. Yeah, it doesn't look like a white Christmas, does it? Sunday, slight chance of rain-snow mix. The snow level is going to be about 2,400 feet, but there's no real precipitation in the forecast there on Sunday. Monday, mostly sunny, and a high near 37. And as we get all the way to Christmas Eve, proper on Christmas Eve, the night, cloudy, and overnight low of about 25. And for Christmas Day, mostly cloudy, and a high near 34 degrees. Again, it's all about elevation. It doesn't take a lot. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, maybe a couple of inches. Leavenworth could get significantly more snow. But are we going to have a white Christmas with all this warm air and rain coming in? Doesn't look like it. Sorry about that, folks. I think everybody wants a white Christmas. Let's take you up to the mountain passes. Ooh, yeah, you ready for this? Here's your latest. That's a live shot of I-90 right now. First of all the passes are getting snow. That's sometimes significant snow. So everybody's getting snow right now in the Cascades. Traction tires are required at this hour on I-90. Snoqualmie Pass. Traction tires are required. It's snowing. US 2. Let's take you to Stevens Pass. Normally, you would think if there's a traction tire requirement on I-90, there'd be one on Stevens. No. It's a traction tire advisory on US 2 Stevens Pass. And on US 97 Blewett, let's take you to Blewett, where it is snowing there, as I mentioned before, and they have a traction tire advisory right now on Blewett. So traction tires are advised on Blewett, advised on Stevens, required on I-90. And we have a slide to show you that came our way from the National Weather Service to let you know exactly how much snow. Look at how much snow they're going to get in the Cascades. Remember, folks, I was telling you about Mazama, Winthrop? See, they're going to get quite a bit of snow. All of it's going to be coming down just by buckets. Here's your rundown for snow in the mountain passes today. It all depends on elevation. Snow accumulations today, during the day, 3 to 5 inches. Tonight, 9 to 13 inches of snow in the mountain passes. Friday, during the day, 4 to 8 inches of snow. Friday night, 6 to 10 inches of snow. Saturday, 4 to 8 inches of snow. Saturday night, 3 to 5 inches of snow. And then a couple of inches of snow possible on Sunday. Again, it's all about the elevation. Right now, traction tires are required in I-90, advised on Stevens and Blewett, but boy, is it gonna snow like crazy in the Cascades pretty consistently from now all the way through probably Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. The snow's not going to stop. Occasionally it's going to mix with some rain, and they do have some flooding concerns because the temperatures are going to rise, just like they are here in the Wenatchee Valley. So the snow's going to come down heavy and wet, and it could switch over to rain, which could mean for some standing water and some flooding situation in the Cascades. We'll keep a close eye on that. By the way, Grant will have a complete weather rundown tonight with the news at 5 o'clock. Speaking of that, your Thursday morning news is just 1 minute away. You watch Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. And we're live this morning from Studio 15 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Winter is here, and CVCH wants to give your child a free sled to help them stay active. This January, plan to join us for a free event for the whole family. Free sleds, hot chocolate, and fun. For complete details, visit the CVCH Facebook page or check us out at cvchchillout.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Granstrom with the NCW Life Channel.
And I'm Brent Rhodes with Country 104.7 KKRV.
The Les Schwab Community Toy Drive is back.
Look for a drop box at sponsor locations and donate a new toy that goes directly to a deserving child in the Wenatchee Valley this Christmas.
We're especially in need of toys and gifts for teenagers.
There are several hundred teens in our valley that could use your help.
Please give the gift of a new toy at Christmas.
It's the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive.
Thank you.
We're back 12 minutes after the big hour of 7 o'clock. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, we have overcast conditions and 27 degrees. We're expecting an inch to maybe 2 inches of snow here in the Wenatchee Valley. A rain, snow, freezing rain mix possible in the early evening hours. And then you'll wake up tomorrow morning with rain, and it will rain most of the day with highs in the lower 40s on Friday. Here's what's making headlines. The wife of a Wenatchee Valley attorney accused of domestic violence wants to keep her medical records from being used as evidence in this case. Paul Kuby is battling a charge of second-degree domestic assault in Douglas County Superior Court. Now, his wife, who suffered a broken nose under disputed circumstances at their home back in July, she told a judge on Monday that it happened when she and Kuby scuffled over a family photo. Now, she went to Central Washington Hospital for a checkup the next day, and she wants records of that visit suppressed in Kuby's criminal case. A visiting judge says he'll decide on the request at a future hearing. Kuby is also charged in federal court for an alleged domestic assault against his wife at Yellowstone National Park in early September. Well, Club Pet, the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society's boarding and doggy daycare facility, going to close their doors. They're shutting down as of January 15th. In a letter to clients of Club Pet, Executive Director Don Davies cited the state's minimum wage, which goes from $12 an hour to $13.50 an hour on January 1st as part of the reason. Davies said Club Pet, which opened 18 years ago, has operated, quote, at a significant loss over the past 10 years, unquote. She said for Club Pet to stay afloat, the rates for boarding and daycare would need to about triple, and a lot of customers say they simply can't afford that. The Club Pet facility, which is right next door, of course, to the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society's main building, is going to be repurposed for an expansion of the Humane Society's veterinary clinic. They had planned a $1.5 million expansion of that clinic. Now they won't need to do that. They can take the Club Pet building and remodel it. And according to Don Davies, that will be a significant savings for the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Wenatchee Valley College President Jim Richardson says he will have to take some furlough days himself next year as a result of a projected $1 million budget shortfall. Richardson says the college has overcome tough financial times in the past. Here's how he described it on a recent In Focus interview with our own special news correspondent, Steve Hare.
Well, I think if you look back in 2008 and 9, the school went through not the same thing. It was actually different. It was when the recession hit and the state actually cut its budgets to us by, millions of dollars. And we, made it through there. We did very similar thing. We actually had 34 layoffs of full-time people in 2009, I believe it was. And, we made it through. We started rebuilding. And, we've served a lot of students since then. We're we've added 4-year programs since then. We've done a lot for the communities that we serve, and I think as we go forward, you'll see students, hopefully, more students coming, obviously would be a good thing, but we're still going to serve our communities.
I know that on your website, you also have a budget explanation as
Right.
to what the situation is currently and some of the frequently asked questions that people can access. One that kind of caught my eye, of course, had to do with your salary.
Oh, yes.
How has that been impacted by this current budget?
Well, I am, like everybody else, I'm taking furlough days. And so, your salary, obviously, you get less when you take furlough days. The budget itself isn't impacting my salary as a whole right now. What did happen and is explained on the website is last year discovered that I wasn't actually getting my raises that I've
Understand that you are guaranteed a 3% raise each year
yeah.
under your contract.
My contract guarantees me that. My contract is with our board, and that started in 2015. I didn't get those. So it looks like I got a $40,000 raise, when really what they were doing is paying back pay. It all ended in one check in February.
And once again, In Focus, which is a new feature featuring our very own Steve Hare, will be available for you to peruse on our website in the not-too-distant future. Seattle rapper and songwriter Macklemore has released a new video for his new Christmas song, and it features our very own Mission Ridge Ski and Snowboard Resort. Yeah, the song is called It's Christmas Time, and it's Macklemore's reflection on his Christmases as a kid. As a kid, he spent a lot of happy days at Mission Ridge, according to Tony Hickok, who's the marketing director for the resort. It was a quick turnaround for the video. In fact, they shot the video back on December 8th, and it's already out and about. Check it out. That's pretty cool stuff. Finally, this morning, in addition to catching bad guys and otherwise protecting their communities, law enforcement officers in North Central Washington have been showing their Christmas spirit this year. Whether buying toys for kids in need or just posing with Santa, here's some of the festive images that they've shared with us. Cool. Good stuff indeed. 19 minutes after the hour. That's what's making headlines on this Thursday morning. The news crew will be back at it again. In fact, if they're probably at work as we speak, not 25, 30 feet from where I'm sitting, putting together a newscast for you tonight at 5 o'clock. And with the preview, here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we'll have our weekly Kennel Cameos feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. We'll let you know what's happening around the valley for you to enjoy this weekend. I'll have a look at your very snowy and wet North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will be in with a look at all the day's local sports action. That and much more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. Hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. We always appreciate your efforts. Grant's going to be a busy guy today because of this weather situation that's going on. We'll talk about that one more time before this show is over. The news, as Grant mentioned, at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. You can also watch it on demand by going to our website. We'll have it up and running right around 5 o'clock. And a lot of people prefer that. They can get home, they can relax, they can chill, and they can just click on their tablet or their smart TV or their smartphone and watch the news that way. And we got no problem with that. But if you want to watch it on TV, 5, 6, and 10. You want to get a hold of us? We'd love to hear from you. Any number of ways to do it. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call at the number that you see at the bottom of your screen. If you got news tips, you can also go to our Facebook page and message us that way. You can go to our website at ncwlife.com and click on the Contact Us icon. That works too. Or you can email us, news at ncwlife.com, news at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you want to specifically comment on this show, We only accept unqualified praise. We'll take a 1-minute break. Sports is next. Great bowling match yesterday between Wenatchee and Eastmont. We'll talk about that when we do sports. It's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, Steve Nelson here, owner of Nelson Motorsports here in Wenatchee. We have a ton of winter specials going on. We have kids ATVs starting at $7.99 that come with throttle limiters and remote stop and start for child safety. If you're tired of pushing snow, we also have snow blowers for $3.99. All of our products come with a 6-month warranty, and we have a full service shop for all your motorsports needs. Stop by and check out all of our products. We provide family fun at affordable prices.
Hi, I'm Ricardo, and this is Amanda, and we are from Impact Auto Sales.
From our staff here at Impact Auto Sales, we want to wish you happy holidays. With our wide selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, let one of our friendly sales staff help you find the vehicle that fits your lifestyle. We have financing available for all credit types and great low rates for first-time buyers. Call us today at 888-8000 or stop by 3522 State Highway 97A in Wenatchee. Impact Auto Sales, where we strive to make an impact on your life and not your wallet.
22 minutes after the hour. Let's do sports. Eric and Jayla and I were there at Eastmont Lanes yesterday. What did we witness? We witnessed the Wenatchee Panthers take over first place in Big Nine girls bowling with a victory over their rivals, Eastmont, yesterday afternoon. Both teams seemed to feel the pressure of facing their friendly rivals. In game number 1, Eastmont came out on top 780 to 715. Wildcat junior Olivia Ellington rolled a game-high 221 to lead the way. Wenatchee's Kayla Hankins bowled a match-high 223 in the second game. Panthers bounced back for the 868 to 771 victory. The match had a feeling it would come down to pin count yet again. It seems to always happen with these two. Wenatchee won the first Baker 171 to 158, which gave the Panthers a 45-pin lead. Heading into the final Baker, Eastmont won that last Baker 178 to 172 to split the match 2-2, but Wenatchee wins the match because they outpinned them by 39. Coach Jeremy Anders and junior Kyla Hankins joined Eric after the match.
Do you feel any pressure at this point when you play these guys?
Not really at this point. I mean, we've bowled them for 3 years, I have, and it's fun bowling them every time.
Is it more pressure that you put on yourself maybe to roll your game?
Yeah, I definitely put more pressure on myself than I do the team against them.
Obviously important for Jaden Thompson to come back after the injury to her hand today. How important was that for you, looking at your teammate going, man, I hope we can get her back for the rest of this. If she doesn't come back, I don't know if you guys win today.
It was really important that she came back. I mean, she kind of sets me up for my end, and we kind of just hype each other up throughout the whole game. So,
Coach, I'm sure you would agree about Jaden and kind of toughing it out today.
Yeah, it was big for her to come back up there. You know, we brought Cammie up because Jaden was struggling, sent her back on JV, rest the hand a little bit, kind of get some ice on there and find her mark again. You know, we were down so much that first game that the girls, though, they piped back up there. Every one of them stepped up that second game, and we saw, I think that's their second best score of the year right there. So, I mean, everybody stepped up, and it was lights out from there.
Eastmont's anchor bowler is Katie Hines. She's pretty good. She rolled a couple of 148s. She and Coach Christy Bingy still feeling pretty confident, even though they did lose to Wenatchee.
And actually, I like that because that's points for us and points against them eventually in the end. And since everybody's been tied in the league, the top 3 teams, Eisenhower, us, and Wenatchee. And I don't know what Moses Lake did today because they could be tied up there too. Right. You never know. So.
Talk about Olivia came up with a big game in her first game. I think that was her second highest game she's ever rolled. Nice to have that, isn't it?
Yes, it's good to see. Nice release, good hand position, and she was relaxed. You could tell by her shoulders that she was relaxed when she was up there rolling the ball, and she was enjoying what she was doing and having fun, and that helps to bowl a good game.
Well, I almost said Samantha a few times when I was talking about you today. You guys look a lot alike. Does your sister give you any tips as far as this particular match when you come against Wenatchee?
Yeah, all the time. She's always critiquing it, but in a good way.
Okay. All right. Well, a lot of bowling left to go. You guys got to still feel pretty confident about where you are right now, don't you?
Yes, for sure.
So how did the rest of the Big Nine do? Let's take a look-see. West Valley outpinned Moses Lake yesterday. They won 3-2. So these are the latest standings. In prep bowling in the Columbia Basin Big Nine, Wenatchee all alone at first, 6-2. Then Eisenhower, 5-2. Eastmont's in third place at 5-3. Moses Lake and West Valley at 4 and 3. We will broadcast yesterday's match, by the way, 1 week from Saturday. It'll be on December 28th at 1 o'clock right here on the NCW Live channel. You do not want to miss that. Let's take a look at the sports schedule for today. Now, a lot of this is going to be a little flexible. A lot of it's going to be depending on travel conditions because everybody's going to get a little bit of snow. Kashmir is scheduled to travel to Okanagan for a Caribou Trail League doubleheader tonight. Girls at 5:45, the boys at 7:15. Everybody into the pool. Prep boys swimming and diving. Wenatchee and Davis will swim against Ike. It's at Lions Pool in Yakima this afternoon at 4 o'clock. On the wrestling mats tonight, Afreda travels to Ellensburg at 5. Cascade, Chelan, and Okanagan will meet at Omak at 6 o'clock in a double duel. Wenatchee is at home tonight against Eisenhower, beginning at 7 o'clock. It's Thursday. That means hockey night here on the NCW Live channel. Arch Ecker will have the call for the Wenatchee Wild's game against Langley from back on November 30th at the Town Toyota Center. You can watch that tonight at 7 o'clock. Speaking of Arch, of course, as I mentioned before, he's going to be my guest a little bit later on. Going to talk about the upcoming home series with the Wild. They got Alberni Valley tomorrow and Powell River on Saturday. He'll also talk, of course, about the transition between Coach Bliss Littler and Chris Clark, who's now, of course, taking over the Wild. Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner each selected to their 6th Pro Bowl as starters this week. That's good news. Other Seahawks selected as alternates on the Pro Bowl team include tackle Dwayne Brown, running back Chris Carson, Javadian Clowney, safety Quandre Diggs, cornerback Shaquille Griffin as an alternate, and guard Mike Upate, and receiver Tyler Lockett. Coach Pete Carroll says the recognition for all of those players is well-deserved.
Everybody can see it. It's pretty obvious. So, I mean, there's no genius coming out of this end of it helping you in saying that those guys are really the real deal. They just are. They're great players, and will be they're going all-time great players, you know, and we're very fortunate to have them.
When you see those rosters come out and you guys only have 2, I mean, are there any names that you feel like were deserving to be there?
Yeah, I think all those guys that were on there on that, you know, we put up the whole screen of all the guys that got recognition. That's all important to us because those guys a lot of times get to play in the game. But I would like to have seen, you know, more guys guaranteed that they're in the game, and they don't have to wait and see what happens with other players.
Yeah, as far as Sunday's game is concerned, of course, the Seahawks are a little banged up. We don't know who's going to play. A lot of players are dinged up, questionable anyway, against Arizona. That includes Bobby Wagner and Diggs and Clowney and Ziggy Ansah.
I can't tell you that. I don't know. We've got to get through the week and see what happens. They're both going to get work today, and we'll just see as we progress and see if it's right for those guys to play. I'm hoping. We'd love to get them both back, but I can't tell you right now.
How about Bobby? Where is he, Bobby Wagner?
Well, he would probably be questionable at this time. If we had to label it, we don't know. But he wanted me to make sure and not be optimistic. And I said, I can't do that. I mean, you're going to play. I know you're going to play. And so I hope that really confused you. Okay.
Seahawks and Cardinals Sunday at Century Link Field. They'll kick it off at 1:25, and you can watch the game on your local Fox affiliate. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Thursday, the 19th day of December, the obscure holiday. It's Underdog Day. Underdog is one of my favorite cartoons growing up. First of all, he talked in rhyme. I always loved that. And his girlfriend was Polly Purebred. Anyway, Underdog, of course, is basically it's considered a sports idiom, you know, an upset. You're the underdog, and you're not supposed to win against the team or the person who is a superior athlete or a superior team to you. But every once in a while, you do win. Everybody loves an underdog. Most people cheer for the underdog, especially if it's a really big underdog. But it can apply to other things. A lot of us know people who work really, really hard but just don't get the recognition they deserve. I would consider them an unsung hero. I would consider them an underdog day. It's okay to be an underdog. It's okay. It's you know, life can be frustrating sometimes. You just have to persevere. And of course, when underdogs occasionally win, it upsets the order of things, and I have no problem with that. I'm going to celebrate Underdog Day by watching a couple of episodes of Underdog. I love that cartoon. Happy Underdog Day. 30 minutes after the hour. Today in history was 242 years ago today. December 19, 1777, George Washington and the Continental Army decided they're going to spend the winter in Valley Forge. That's where they decided to do their headquarters for the winter. Valley Forge was about 18 miles northwest of Philadelphia. Philadelphia, of course, was controlled by the British during this time. It was not just soldiers. It was also officers. They had women and children. About 12,000 people in all camped at Valley Forge. It did not go that well between disease. About 1,000 people died, and about 1,500 horses died. And they couldn't bury the bodies, and the horses just sat. It was just awful. Typhoid, dysentery, smallpox, the flu, pneumonia. It all took a toll. The biggest myth I think about Valley Forge over that winter was the weather. You know, the thing was bitterly cold and frozen rivers and all that stuff. It wasn't really the case. It was basically a normal winter for eastern Pennsylvania. They just didn't have a lot of food. It didn't go very well, but they persevered and got through it. They started their little cookout at Valley Forge 242 years ago today. 62 years ago today, December 19th, 1957, the United States Army said, Elvis, for the next 2 years, your butt belongs to us. Elvis got his draft notice served to him by the U.S. Army on this date back in 1957. He was given a 4-month deferment because they were scheduled to film the movie King Creole, which, by the way, is the best Elvis movie that's out there. And then when he was supposed to be drafted into the Army said, we'll put you in special services. You go through 6 weeks of basic training. You don't have to get your hair cut. And then we put you into special services, and for 2 years, you just entertain the troops. And Colonel Tom Parker said, no way, for free? So Elvis went into the Army, and for 2 years, he was just a regular draftee in Germany. Elvis drafted into the Army on this date back in 1957. 36 years ago today, the original World Cup trophy was stolen. The original World Cup trophy, which was made way back in the 1920s, was given to Brazil permanently because they had won 4 World Cups, and they decided, let's give Brazil the original World Cup. It's made out of solid gold, and we'll make a brand new World Cup for that. And it was put on display at the Brazilian Football Confederation headquarters in Rio de Janeiro in a cabinet with bulletproof glass. So the thieves just used a crowbar and opened up the back of it and made off with it. The original 2 suspects were the janitor and the security guard. They were quickly cleared. They tried 4 people in absentia for the crime. They were convicted, but they were never found. What happened to the actual trophy? It is believed that it was melted down and sold because it was solid gold, and the original World Cup trophy is gone. Nobody knows what happened to it. It was stolen on this date back in 1983. And finally, 21 years ago today, Bill Clinton got impeached by the United States House of Representatives. He was acquitted, of course, eventually in the Senate early the next year. Impeachment in the news. It's happened before, a couple of times. Birthdays. If you remember the Cold War, this was my favorite Soviet premier, Leonid Brezhnev. Boy, this guy had eyebrows. He was the 4th head of state of the Soviet Union. Died at the age of 75 back in 1982, my senior year in high school. Leonid Brezhnev. In some respects, I miss the Cold War. One person I really miss is Maurice White, the leader of Earth, Wind, and Fire, singer, songwriter, producer, and outstanding drummer. He was fantastic. Earth, Wind, and Fire's music of the 1970s and early 80s, just phenomenal stuff. We lost, of course, Maurice about 3 years ago. Won a bunch of Grammys. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on merit, I might add. The legendary Maurice White. We miss him. Great guy. Born in the state of 1941. All right, Shop Talk. First of all, Campbell's. Their destination deal. It's still happening. Don't know why. Obviously, they've lost their mind at Campbell's Resort, because if they say you can get a room starting at $95 a night, I say take advantage of it before they sober up. Yeah, here's the deal at Campbell's. All you have to do is prove you are a local. Give them a call. Hey, Campbell's, this is Johnny Jump Up here. I live in Brewster, and I want to spend a weekend at your fine resort, and you can get a room starting at just $95 a night. It's the destination deal at Campbell's, but again, it's for locals only. It's going to go through, they say, at least through the month of December. If it keeps going well, and apparently it is, they might extend it into January. Don't know yet. I'll let you know. Also, the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. I want to mention that again, because we're down to the very end, the very, very end. This weekend is basically a get out, get the job done. Those 6 organizations there will receive the gifts that you get, and they will distribute the gifts to the needy kids in our communities. What we need, of course, is gifts. So these are all of the sponsors. You go out, you buy a new unwrapped toy. If you don't know what to get, gift cards are fine too. Lots of suggestions at Hooked On Toys. Get those gifts, drop them off at any of our sponsor locations. You see them there. The sponsors will then give them to the nonprofits, who in turn give them to the kids who need it. Every kid large or small, deserves to have multiple brand new toys and gifts underneath the Christmas tree in a week or so, and we need you to participate, please. Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. Thanks, Les Schwab, by the way. Great folks there. All right, 36 minutes after the hour, we got a Mike McNaughty opinion coming up and my conversation with Arch Ecker, talking wild hockey. But first, Camp with the Dog needs a home. It's Kennel Cameos.
Hi, my name's Jenny, and I'm the volunteer coordinator for Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Today I have Kaba here with me. Hi, Kaba. He's almost 2 years old. He's a male husky. He's a friendly guy. He just joined playgroup here at the shelter, and he did really well. Yeah, you did. He came here with another dog, an 8-year-old husky named Coda. They're now in separate kennels, and they're doing pretty well. They came here because of an owner's illness, forced them here. But he's a playful young guy. He's a typical husky, so having a secured yard is highly recommended. He's still young, so he's still learning his indoor behaviors, what he can and can't do. He definitely should not be at a home with cats, though. Cats are his limitation. Kids are okay, dogs are okay. He's a sweet guy, so come on down and meet Kaba.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
It's going on 4 decades of doing business in the Wenatchee Valley. And I want people to know that it matters. It matters to me that people choose to do business with us. It matters that people trust us, trust us. That matters more than anything.
Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Okay, this Greta Thunberg gal, whatever her name is, this shame on you environmental activist who was so angry at us adults for screwing up her life. Now, although she has a valid point to some degree by criticizing us, the older generation, just like baby boomers did with good reason, criticizing our elders, you know, Greta's gonna have to realize that she'll have a better chance of improving things for herself by being responsible for her own behavior rather than wasting her anger on others like me and you. Now, it's a simple truth about us humans. We tend to look for fault and blame other people because that is so much easier than looking at myself and seeing where I need to change. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
Reinventing FaceTime here at Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, a new family-owned and operated business located in the heart of downtown Wenatchee. Owner Andrew Vickery brings forth years of experience to help you transition your backyard into a place where memories are made, family time is looked forward to, and friends are always welcome. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa offers many different styles and sizes of artesian spa. Let us help you add hydrotherapy to your already healthy lifestyle.
And we are back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. This weekend, the Wenatchee Wild have a couple of home games at the Town Toyota Center. Alberni Valley will be in town on Friday, and then on Saturday we got Powell River paying a little old Wenatchee town a visit, and to talk about wild hockey and all cool things, making his very first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's the broadcasting voice of the Wild Arch Ecker.
Hey,
give it up
thank
for
you.
Arch.
Thank you
How
very
are you, my
much.
friend?
You know, just yesterday, in fact, I got on Spotify, and I was looking to try to download the Wake Up Wenatchee Valley song because it's so cool, right? And catchy. And I wanted to make it my ringtone, my alarm tone, my message tone, incoming, outgoing, incoming email, the whole thing. I couldn't find it.
It's called Sunny Side Up, and if you want a copy, I'll give it to you.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and I thought it's a great name for a show. I mean, great name, a great song
For a morning
the
show?
morning show. Sunny Side Up.
It
And
just grabbed you, didn't it?
And here's the funny thing: it's supposed to be a placeholder. When we were putting together the show, when it was in development, as we say in the business, one of the things you need a song a theme song, so to speak, and I put 4 or 5 prospects together, played it for the ownership group, and they went, I guess that one's okay, but we'll find something better in a couple of months, and that was 3.5 years ago. We still use it, so.
Sounds about par for the
That's about
course.
par for the
And
course.
that's another term we use in the biz.
Hockey. I gotta love this guy. Before we go forward, let's move back. Clarkie has been running the show now for a couple of weeks. Bliss has assumed strictly general manager and business duties. Clarkie is coaching the team day to day. How's the transition going from your perspective?
Well, you know, just to be honest, it's weird. It feels very weird to not have Bliss there. Just his presence, it throws a long shadow, and when he's around, everybody knows, you know. So it's weird not having him there. But that said, from an operational standpoint, I mean, I go to the office, my job duties don't change. Clarkie's duties don't change much. He's still running the same practice plans that have been in place and that he's been a part of for a long time. So from the players' aspect, they look at it, they don't see, other than Bliss's face not being there, the drills they're doing and the message that they're getting from the coaching staff doesn't really change because the ideals are the same, everything remains sort of intact, which is smart, obviously. You don't really want to upset the apple cart midstream. It's darn near impossible to even attempt. But, you know, we've got a good thing going, and Clarkie's just kind of keeping things moving in that direction. And to his credit, he says, hey, look, I want this to be as seamless as possible. I'd like for people to not even really realize that there's a difference. And I think to a large degree, he's been very successful in that. I mean, our travel is the same. You know, we get where we're going, we get into the hotel, we get up, we have the stretch and the treatment in the study hall for the players that are taking classes, and all of those things are just business as usual. And you know, in that sense, the normalcy helps too. It helps everyone kind of feel comfortable and not rattled with the transition.
Yeah, and that's really the key, because Clarkie has been there for so long. From a hockey standpoint, it seems almost seamless to me. Clarkie has done, I thought, a fantastic job. He certainly deserves the job. I guess the analogy that I'll use is the Chris Peterson, Jimmy Lake thing. I mean, as soon as Chris Peterson said, I'm stepping aside, his chief right-hand man, Jimmy Lake, steps right into the role, and they just keep right on going. And that's basically what's going on right now with Wenatchee Wild.
Yeah, and of course, you know, we got Lee Mendelson in the mix as well. And, you know, he's been, it's not like he's new. I mean, he's got a lot of history in the game, of course, but, you know, he's been here for a few years now, and he understands basically the Wild way. I mean, how we do things, how we conduct ourselves, and that consistency remains. So to that end, I think we're moving in a healthy direction moving forward.
So how is the job responsibility split up? Because you had Bliss at the top, and then you had Clarkie and Lee on either side as assistant coaches. Now Clarkie is at the top, you have Lee as an assistant coach. How are they deciding who's handling what end of the hockey operations, so to speak?
Technically, Clarkie is the interim head coach right now. So I guess if you needed to establish a pecking order, then it starts there. But I think the two of them, when we travel, they room together. they're kind of a cohesive unit, and they understand each other, and I think moving forward, yeah, they're both going to have the finger in the pie. But I guess if it comes to if there's the decision to be made at the end of the day, I mean, it's going to fall on Clarkie. But he's been here since day one. He's been through every coaching change. Every player that's ever worn a Wild jersey has answered to Clarkie somewhere along the way, and he's just he's such a great guy. He's the kind of guy that people just want to be friends with, and they gravitate to because he's got a great heart, a great sense of humor, and he's very passionate about his Wenatchee Wild.
And Wenatchee Wild is kind of playing some pretty good hockey right now. I'm not going to lie to you. On Friday the 13th, the Teddy Bear Toss, Salmon Arm came to town. The Teddy Bears went flying, and the Wild won a terribly entertaining hockey game, very entertaining hockey game. That was Friday the 13th, and it was up to West Kelowna. They got and again, they're playing some pretty good hockey right now.
Yeah, it's true. And even though, if you go back a week, we had a couple of bumps on the road. We had the loss at Coquitlam, who is the #1 team in the BCHL. We did lose at Trail. But you know what? I mean, the guys are playing some good hockey. And so when you talk to the coaches after the game, and usually I get Lee Mendelson on my post-game wrap-up, but, they were not overly discouraged with how our team played. They said, there was a lot of good things that we did. We made a couple mistakes along the way, and we failed to cash in on a couple opportunities, but we were getting a lot of chances. And when you get those chances, that means you're systematically doing a lot of things right to even get in that position. It's when you're not getting those chances and you're getting your doors blown off that you're like, where do we go from here? But that's not really the case. They've known that we're on the cusp. We're also playing with a depleted lineup. We got a handful of guys that have been out and hurt, and we're starting to see him trickle back in. Nick Caffarelli was our leading scorer. Even though he sat out a few games, so was still the leading scorer. He's come back to the lineup. Jack Bayless has made his way back, and we've still got Luke Ormsby, who is a long-time veteran. He won the championship with the Seattle Thunderbirds back in 2016. So he's a veteran player. Matt Dorsey, who's obviously a huge part of our offense. He's been out for a bit. We expect him back sometime soon. Drake Usher, third-year defenseman, he's been out. We're hoping to see him back at the beginning of the year. So we're missing some key ingredients, but they're starting to trickle back in, and we'll see how it goes.
BCHL teams, be forewarned, because the Wild are not playing fully armed, so to speak. But when everybody's back and healthy, the rest of the league's on notice now.
Well, we like our chances. And we're not the only team that plays with injuries and with players gone. They had the World Junior A Championships going on up in Dawson Creek recently, and several teams were minus a few players. Coquitlam was minus their captain. Trail was missing 4 players. Salmon Arm was missing a player. So there's just a few of those. Everybody goes through something along the way. It's a 58-game season, and guys get banged up, and and we're far from the only team to have to paddle upstream a little bit. But once we get our full team back together, and other teams will and whatnot. But I like our chances. We got a good group of guys.
2 of those 58 games are this weekend: Alberni Valley on Friday and then Powell River on Saturday. Teams we don't see a great deal of because they're not in our division. What do you know about Alberni Valley and Powell River? What can you tell me about those clubs?
Well, what I can tell you about Alberni Valley, first off, is they brought Joe Martin in as a head coach. Now, he'd been the head coach in Merritt for the last several years, and they lured him up to Alberni Valley. And Joe Martin has put together great teams with almost nothing to work with. Try to recruit players to come play in Merritt. Good luck. It's like, we got this little town in the middle of nowhere and the small little rink, but come play for us. And Joe did it, and he put competitive teams together year after year. And so bringing him into Alberni Valley, that only serves to strengthen that program, and they have. They were kind of bottom feeders in that division for a while, and not so anymore. They're a very hard-working team, so that's what we expect to see from Alberni Valley. And for Powell River, they've been the perennial powerhouse. They, along with Victoria in the Island Division, and they've kind of fallen on hard times this year, and I'm not quite sure what the main reason is. Victoria, we know they lost a lot of key firepower. They had some NHL draft picks and lost a lot of big-time players last year. So that's partly why they're having a hard time. Powell River, I'm not entirely sure, but but they're still going to be a hard-working kind of team. That's just sort of been their DNA for a while, and I expect that on Saturday night they're going to come in here loaded for bear. They actually played I guess Tuesday night they played in Langley, and they gave Langley a pretty good run, but the Rivermen ended up knocking them off. So it's a 4-game road trip, and it's the last game of a 4-game swing for the Kings. And obviously heading into the holiday break, they're going to want to finish on a positive note.
Everybody's heading into the holiday break, including Arch and the crew. But before that, we got some promotions. You want to go ahead and throw this on? Should we do this now?
Yeah, let's check this out. So the folks at Geesa Credit Union, I don't even know if this is going to fit my fat head.
Fits me.
Yeah. Oh, it does kind of. Yeah, you got a fat head for sure. Yeah, there you go.
What?
Do that. Headbang.
First of all, thanks to Geesa Credit Union. Second of all,
Geesa.
Geesa Credit Union. What the heck were you thinking? What are these things? What's the purpose of this?
Oh, they're just wild blue fun wigs, I think is what they call them.
Okay. It looks really good on you. It makes me look ridiculous, but it looks really good on you.
Well, you looked ridiculous before you put it on. Actually, this gives you some credibility now. That's really something I can't take my eyes off it. It's kind of like a train wreck. I can't stop looking.
How do I get one of these? Friday night, Saturday night?
Friday night, first 1,000 fans in the door. Plus, it's a Dash for Cash promotion. I got to pull this up.
No, go ahead. Phones are allowed on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Well, I'm not calling anyone. Oh wait, hang on. Hello? I'm just kidding. No, it's so the Dash for Cash. We put $5,000 in Walt bucks. So last year we used actual real dollars, but this year Walt bucks, and we printed out 5,000 of them. We spread them out all over this giant carpet in the middle of the ice. We've selected teachers from 5 different schools, and they'll all come onto the carpet in different corners or whatnot, and then it's go, and everybody goes running through, and they gather up as much as they can, and then we go through and we count what there is, and we write them a check for that amount that goes directly for use in their schools. Because hey, look, we all know that schools they're having a hard time, right? I mean, they're cutting programs, and it's sad to see music programs. It's usually the arts that gets hit first. But this is a really nice way to kind of give back to the community a little bit. Geesa Credit Union is a part of it. They wanted this to be something fun that people in the stands can all kind of get behind. Yeah, man, hey, what's up? So these are the schools: Clovis Point, the Ephrata Middle School, Kenroy Elementary, Lincoln, and Grant Elementary too.
So you're spreading the love.
That's exactly that's how that works. So those 5 schools will have representative teachers, and it's cool how they did it. They had to submit a video saying why they wanted to participate and what they would do for their class or whatnot. And so everyone submitted these videos and put them online, and that's how it came together.
Can we watch them?
Is there shedding?
Yeah. Can we go? Is there a site I can go look at these videos? Are they on the Wild site or anything? Or
you know what? I think they're on our Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is Friday night.
That's Friday night. The first 1,000 fans in the door get this. Plus, it's Fathead Friday, where you put the heads on the stick or whatnot. That's with Office Depot. We do that. What else? Oh, well, Saturday, when Powell River comes in, so that night we've got carolers out on the concourse. Santa will be there for photos on the concourse as well. People always love that part, right? And then both nights after the game, we'll have a couple of players out on the concourse to sign autographed pictures as well. I think it's Drew Bavaro and Hunter Hastings on Friday, and Saturday is Sam Morton.
Well, either way, you'll
someone else. Anyway, there's 2 players both nights.
And of course, after that, after this weekend, they're off for a couple of weeks. They don't play again, at least at home, until what, the 3rd? Is that right?
Yeah, home or away. That's so they get a little bit of well-deserved time off, and it's helpful for the body gets tired, obviously. So there's that part of it. But just, mentally, a lot of these guys, I mean, some of them have had family come in, but there's others that haven't seen family since August when they reported. And, you know what I mean? We're talking about young men that are, 16 to 20 years old, right? And, you get homesick.
Sure, absolutely.
You're just like, you know what? Yeah. I want to sleep in my own bed, as great as our billet families are, and in some cases, they're really good, right? But sometimes it's like, I just want to have mom's cooking, sleep in my bed, pet my dog,
play my video games.
Right, exactly.
Just chill for a few
they
days.
get that opportunity to go home, and it's it's refreshing for heart, mind, and soul.
Yeah. So this is your last chance for a few weeks anyway to check out Wenatchee Wild again. Alberni Valley on Friday, Powell River on Saturday. These things will be Friday night. You can meet Santa on Saturday, and then everybody gets to take a break. What are your plans for the holiday? You're gonna head south and see Dad, or just kind of hang around?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I kind of kicked around a couple different options, and you know what? Sometimes just kicking back and putting your feet up. Sometimes that's pretty inviting as well.
I'm not going to see it till the new year. Who's playing in the NHL New Year thing again this year? The outdoor thing. They got one going on again this year. Do you know?
Oh yeah, the Winter Classic.
Winter Classic. Do you know who's in? I don't know either.
I'll be honest with you. I'm new, but I don't remember.
Neither do I. So,
Yeah.
oh well. I'll watch it. Whatever.
Two teams.
Two teams. Yeah. Thank you. Arch Ecker, everybody.
Thank you.
The kid, that really does look good on you. That does.
I
WenatcheeWildHockey.com, 888-PUCK to get tickets, group discounts, the whole 9 yards. If you can't make it, Arch, of course, broadcasts on their flagship station, 560 KPQ. You can also watch it on Hockey TV for a tiny little fee. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you and yours, and I'll see you next year.
Next year sounds good.
I'll see you next decade. Ooh. Arch Ecker making his very first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Foresight's 2020.
Let Fitterers Furniture help you turn your dreams into reality with their exciting selection of quality furnishing and accessories. Whatever style you are looking for, you will find beautifully crafted furniture of exceptional value and the unmatched Fitterers customer service to make this shopping experience one you will keep coming back to. Make a point of visiting Fitterers Furniture in downtown Ellensburg.
Quality selection and service since 1896.
Is it time for you to start planning your Christmas party, a staff lunch meeting, or just a space to bring all your holiday visitors in town for a family meal? Give the Walkabout Grill a call and use one of our private dining areas in Wenatchee or in Leavenworth. That's right, at either end of the valley, you'll find a healthy dining option that everyone in the group can agree on. This is Sean, and I'd like to invite you to celebrate your holiday season around our table. Walkabout Grill, Wenatchee and Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
And we are back on a snow-covered Thursday morning. I'm Dan Kuntz. Let's take a look at that weather forecast one more time because there's a lot going on. A winter storm warning will start at noon today, goes until 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Now, we're talking about moderate snow accumulations expected here in the Wenatchee Valley, maybe a couple of inches by the time this system has come and gone. So some snow today, yep, a rain-snow mix possible, and then in the early evening hours, right around 5 or 6 o'clock, it should switch over to all snow. Snow level is going to be hovering right around the 1,200 foot level. At 1,200 feet and below, it could be snow with an occasional mixture of rain. Tonight, for the Wenatchee Valley, a couple of inches of snow is possible, but it's going to switch over to rain, and there might be a little pocket there of about an hour when it's going to be a rain, snow, freezing rain mix in the evening hours tonight. Then it switches over to snow, and then it switches over to rain because it's actually going to warm up in the evening hours. By the time you get up tomorrow morning, Friday, it's going to be raining, and it could be actually about 37 or 38 degrees by Friday night, and Saturday. So whatever snow we're going to get, and we are going to get some snow, is not going to last very long. So again, snow likely today, just a little skiff here on the valley floor, a little bit more snow in the upper elevations. Leavenworth, you're going to get quite a bit of snow. Plain is going to get quite a bit of snow. And the Cascades, as we mentioned before, are going to get a lot of snow. They're going to be measuring snow in the Cascades by the feet, not by the inches. By the way, right now, traction tires are advised across the big three. The mountain passes are concerned, but it is going to snow a lot in the Cascades, starting later on this afternoon and lasting all the way through till Saturday. Not so much here. Look at the high on Friday. Whatever snow we're going to get today and overnight tonight, going to be gone by noon on Friday, with highs in the lower 40s. We'll be just about 40 with some rain on Saturday. Some of the rain on Friday afternoon especially could come down quite heavily, so we're a little worried about maybe some urban flooding or maybe some of the sewer systems getting backed up between the mixture of the rain that we're expecting and, of course, the snow melt as it happens. Again, it all depends on elevation. It all depends on elevation. We're keeping our fingers crossed we don't have any freezing rain. That wouldn't be good. Everybody have a fantabulous Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.